Did you know that an 8-core processor can be faster than a 16-core one? Okay, this one's really good. An Intel Core i5 can even beat a Core i7. Also, spoiler alert, this video is going to be pretty long and this is a 2-part series. I will take you from the basic specs to look for, will clear a lot of myths, then coming to my laptop recommendations. Also, it's a request to not skip any part of this video as I will mention some very important laptop buying decisions which you might skip otherwise. Well, trying to purchase a laptop in 2022 is really confusing, not just for you, even for me. Especially Intel finally going for an architectural overhaul in the 12th gen lineup, leading to so much chaos. Hey everyone, it's Somrat, a computer science engineer from Milani, and today let's finally talk about the best laptops for computer science engineers or programmers in general in India once again. And not just 1, 5 or even 10. 15 best of the best laptops in India.
Nice.
Now, why did I really say once again? Well, I made a very detailed and deep researched video on the same topic last year and you guys really loved it. It is the highest viewed video on my channel. Now, here are a couple of things that you absolutely need to know. First, this is a 2-part series. In the first part, I will talk about the best laptops for entry-level and medium-level programmers. And the second video would be about from medium to advanced level programmers. Second, the video will have 2 broad sections. In the first section, we will discuss things to keep in mind, the general stuff, and in the end part, we will talk about the best laptops to buy right now. Third, and the best part is that this video has a lot of timestamps and you can time travel to any sections of your choice. So let's get started. Talking about the type of programmers as it might confuse a lot of people. So here we go. Type A, entry level to medium level programmer. These are basically students who are getting into either a computer science engineering degree or an IT degree in college. And these laptops can run through their OOPS based programming language and in general everything that is given to you in 4 years. Because I have gone through the same, I definitely know what I'm talking about. And not just your course structure, these laptops also can run your machine learning programs and other stuff. And as you know, there will be some people I have seen in my college, a lot of people will fall in the category where they will need a laptop to just do the basic courses. They will just do the basic courses and graduate. And the other type of people will be enthusiasts who will be developers using Android Studio, Docker, running ML models, etc. etc. So those people don't feel left out. I have got you covered too. Talking about the type B people are the medium level to advanced level programmers. Experience in programming, which means that they have years of experience in programming. You know, people running huge ML models, doing heavy tasks like game development and deep learning stuff. Also, if you guys are really feeling you're getting some value out of this video, then please subscribe to my channel, as I've put in hours of research into this one video because this is the most common doubt that I get in my channel. So please subscribe. Okay, let's get back to the video. Talking about in general tips, I think you must fundamentally know which tools use which part more of the laptop, and trust me, it's different for different type of users. The absolute basic needs are at least 8 GB RAM and preferably one that can be upgraded later on. And yes, there are laptops in which you can't upgrade the RAM, so welcome for that information. A minimum of 1080p display, 256 GB of SSD, and finally a good CPU. And the best part is you can get these specs for as low as 45,000. But we will also discuss about some more entry-level laptops which are less than 40,000 of course. One more thing, the laptop that you choose must have a good Linux community support, as most of my programming friends do use Linux in the dual boot configuration. Now, something that is new in 2022 is that Intel 12th generation in general is better than the AMD Ryzen in running programming tasks, which wasn't the case for the past few years. Now, for example, an Core i5 1240 running at just 28 watts in Linux is equivalent to a 45 watt gaming Ryzen 5900HX in the Python test. And spoiler alert, that i5 isn't even the best laptop chip from Intel. Now, like graphic designers think that the first thing that the laptop need to have is a graphics card, which is absolutely wrong. Even programmers really can't escape this trap. So let's talk about a couple of myths here. So talking about the very first myth would be, do you really need a graphics card or a GPU? Now, short answer would be mostly no, but sometimes yes. And now, of course, if you want a longer answer, if you're into any of these, as you can see on the screen right now, then you absolutely don't need a graphics card. Now, of course, you will have a graphics card. I'm talking about a dedicated graphics card like a NVIDIA GTX, RTX or AMD card. But if you are into any of these, then you probably would need a graphics card. And spoiler alert, for those who actually need a graphics card, try not to go below RTX 3050. Talking of the second most common myth is I really need a Mac for programming, right? Which is not the case. Let me just give you a couple of highlights as I've been using both Windows and Mac in the past 5 to 6 years. Well, if you think that you really need a Mac, then probably you definitely need a Mac. But for in general public who have not actually used a Mac before, the Mac seems to be a good option if your workflow is not Linux or Windows only. If it is platform independent, MacBook can be an excellent option for a better battery, a better display and more stable ecosystem compared to Windows or Linux. Now please don't judge a Mac by its number game, as you might say ki Mac is only having an 8-core processor. Of course a 12-core or a 16-core processor will beat it. Well, it can surely beat a Windows laptop without breaking a sweat, and the most important part is without making any noise. Talking about the third myth, not really a myth but it's more like a debate, is should I go for 12th gen Intel or should I go for Ryzen? And yes, we are doing this today as there's so much confusion around it. Now AMD 6000 series performs similar to last gen AMD 5000 series, but they have a much better internal graphics card this time. But Intel 12th gen has smoking performance in the coding task, but not exactly the same sort of scaling in video editing and other tasks. So for the same price, Intel is actually preferred for coding. To give context, the 5900HX from the last year from AMD was their best chip, and it takes 47 seconds to complete the Python compilation test. Now the 12th generation Core i5 1240p with the same test completes it in, any guesses, 47 seconds, which is first a lower wattage chip than the 5900HX, and second, it is not even their best chip, which is the Core i9. So in short, AMD still performs almost the same, but Intel is dominating this year. Finally, let's talk about the absolute best laptops for entry-level to medium-level programmers, and of course in order of pricing. Starting with the first one would be HP Laptop 15s. This laptop features a Ryzen 5300U, a quad-core processor, for the price of around 37 to 38,000. It is better than i3 11th generation, and it is definitely recommended. The computer doesn't have a backlighting and fingerprint, but the processor covers up for the other things. For 38,000, you can't really go wrong with this one. Even the display is IPS here. You just can't complain. Now to do purchase it from Amazon, as you will get this laptop with 512GB SSD, otherwise you may end up with 256GB or pay 3,000 more for a 512GB upgrade. And don't worry guys, RAM is upgradable in this one. Talking of the second laptop in this list is the Lenovo IdeaPad 3. Now this is just a new laptop with a processor upgrade of 5500U, but the biggest red flag in this is that it is still having a TN panel and not an IPS display panel. It does have a 2 years of warranty, and 5500U is a tried and tested processor, but lower prices come at cost of course losing screen quality. So guys, if you like any of the laptop in this list, do check out the links in the description below, as they will give you the best prices, and it definitely helps my channel a little bit without costing any money to you. So let's get back into the video. Talking of the third laptop is the HP 15s. Now basically this laptop is like an HP version of the previous laptop. So it does not have backlighting on the keyboard, but the RAM can be upgraded. And for 47,000, it is reasonable considering you get an IPS panel. It also misses backlighting and fingerprint, but still again the processor makes up for it. Talking about the fourth laptop is the VivoBook 15 2022 model. So if you're waiting for Team Blue, this is a laptop from Asus with other specs very similar to the HP one, but with a fingerprint sensor and similar performance. Well, the processor is a brand new 12th generation chip, which is a 28 watts Core i3 1220p. It has 2 performance and 8 efficiency cores, and RAM is upgradable on this one. So just don't go by key this is an i3 chip, so will be very weak. That's absolutely not the case, and this 12th generation chip is a great chip. A mild warning, Asus non-gaming laptops, when you're starting to use them, do have a Linux installation issues, so dual boot people, just be aware of this fact. But definitely their laptops are very good value for money. Now the beginner level laptops were till here, and whatever laptop I'm going to talk from now on would be in the medium level laptops. Okay, talking about the fifth laptop is the VivoBook 16X. Now Ryzen 5600H is an amazing chip, but sadly this one is limited by Asus. It goes in tie with 1240p offered by Intel in the normal task. Display brightness is 300 nits, which is incredible. The battery is 50 watt-hour, but with this chip it would be acceptable but not appreciable. But do note that this one features a slower SSD and the build is plastic. Talking about the next laptop is Dell Inspiron 5425. Now this laptop costs 61,000. You do get 2,000 off while paying through UPI or net banking, and get the Sennheiser HD350BT headset worth 8,990 at just 1,300. It comes with Ryzen 5625U, which is upgraded to 5500U, Now that is fantastic, but a 54 watt hour battery that can give you the backup of 7 to 8 hours on a moderate use. Though the display is only 250 nits with 45% NTSC color gamut, you get a 16 by 10 inch display. But it do comes with a 1080p webcam, making it a perfect office and work laptop. And the best part is that the build is metallic, but you don't get a fingerprint sensor in this one. Talk of the 7th laptop is the HP Pavilion 14. Now this one has the same processor as the Dell one, has a fingerprint sensor, a gorgeous 400 nits 100% sRGB display. But of course there will be certain cons, as it is coming with a 41 watt hour battery. With such a color accurate panel, the battery life is just okayish. Also its build quality is just average in general, as it is a plastic build. Talk of the next laptop is the Dell Inspiron 165625. This is just a 16-inch version of the 14-inch we discussed previously. Now this is both available in Intel and AMD as we discussed earlier. I would recommend only the Ryzen 5, Ryzen 7 and Core i5 configuration, both with and without GPU, as the Core i7 is not really worth the money. Okay, now if you like a larger screen, Dell has 16-inch models. These models are pretty much the same one with Ryzen 5625U and one with the Core i5 1240p. They are pretty similar processors. i5 one is slightly more powerful and has a better Wi-Fi card from Intel, whereas the Ryzen one is having the weak MediaTek ones. But the Ryzen one gives you more battery life, of course. In general, both have decent battery life, but the speakers in general are pretty loud and quite clear. Yes, finally a Windows laptop with some decent speakers that we can actually enjoy. Also, there are always offers running on the Dell website, so definitely check that out in the link. Talking about the next laptop is the LG Gram 14, 16 and 17. Now LG Gram definitely deserves a mention. Yes, it is expensive, but if you want portability at best, this 14-inch weighs just a kilogram and the 16-inch version weighs just under 1.2 kg. Talking about the next laptop is the Asus ZenBook 14. It is well priced for 90,000, but note that for this price, you can get the Pavilion 14 Plus with 12700H, which has a better processor and almost the same display. But the ZenBook has great battery life to cover other things up. Again, warning you, all Asus non-gaming laptops are facing Linux issues, especially the new ones. Finally, I would like to mention the Apple MacBook Air with, of course, a student discount. You can get a MacBook Air M1 for 90,000, and if you just wait for the Diwali sales and if you subscribe to my channel, I will tell you there will be a time when you can get this one for around 75,000. Yes, and it is one of the killer deal ever. Now you can also get the M2 MacBook Air for around 1.1 lakhs using the student discount. Now I already have the M2 MacBook Air with me. I've been using and testing it for a few weeks now. So if you want an in-depth video regarding that, do let me know in the comment section below, and that will be from the point of view of a programmer or even in general content creation. Getting back, both the MacBooks are fantastic for programming, so I think you can get a RAM and storage upgrade for the M1 Air, which will be better for multitasking, and definitely try to avoid a 256GB variant for the M2 model, as it performs worse than the M1 when multitasking. So at least upgrade to the 512GB SSD. I have also done the same and I'm not facing that many issues. So these were my top picks, and please do subscribe for the next part of this video, which is mostly for engineers when they finally end up landing a job but they are confused which laptop to buy. So see you in the next one. Peace.